Welcome back to Ladies of Another View on Beck, and we are joined with Mary.
Hello.
And Mary was here on Tuesday when we talked about the Parental Rights and Education Bill that just passed the Senate in Florida. It's waiting for Governor DeSantis' signature. And the crazy thing is people called it the Don't Say Gay bill. And the bill is simply about not having sex education for children 3 to 8. Like, really, is this so hard?
Is that crazy?
For ages 3 to 8. It doesn't have anything to do with Don't Say Gay. And as a matter of fact, the governor's press secretary had tweeted out, if this is something that you want, maybe you're wanting to groom, like, why would you care about teaching sex to children that young? They should be learning, math and coloring and whatever else, using their scissors properly. But not, they don't need to talk about sex. Yeah, it's so there is backlash galore. The White House is very unhappy. Biden thinks that they're bullying children by not letting them learn about LGBTQ+. Let's watch what Jen Psaki had to say about this.
Many of us in this room were in school. President Biden actually voted for a much broader restriction that banned federal funds from being used for, quote, the promotion of homosexuality as a positive lifestyle alternative. Why did he do that, and can you describe how his thinking has evolved over the years?
Well, I think that you have seen the president speak passionately about his view that a bill like this, a bill that would discriminate against families, against kids, put these kids in a position of not getting the support they need at a time where that's exactly what they need, is discriminatory. It's a form of bullying. It is horrific. I mean, the president has spoken to that. In terms of his views and comments from 25 years ago, I think the most important question now is, why are Florida leaders deciding they need to discriminate against kids who are members of the LGBTQI community? What prompts them to do that? Is it meanness? Is it wanting to make kids have more difficult times in school, in their communities? I would pose that question to them, and we can talk about it more tomorrow if you get an answer.
I want to make the point that the next segment, we're going to talk about misinformation. This is misinformation. That is not at all what the bill does. It does not bully. It's simply saying these are young children. You don't need to be coming to school, teachers, and teaching them about sex.
Wow.
Your thoughts?
Well, so I've actually seen the TikToks from teachers who are in the classroom and who are themselves LGBT, whichever letter they want to pick.
Pick a
letter.
letter.
One of the letters.
They're a letter, and they're excited and passionate about projecting their lifestyle on these kids and pushing their lifestyle on them. They're glad that they have other teachers in the classroom that are promoting that ideology and that thinking. And you want to know why Florida is wanting to do something now, why they're passing legislation now, because they can see that coming. They can see the problems. They can see the impact that they're having with kids. And they recognize that they have got to stop it. We have got to get these people out of classrooms. There's people, there are candidates running, and one of them said that if you need a law to tell you not to talk to 5-year-olds about sex, you should not be a teacher, and you probably should be prevented from being anywhere near a school. And I think she's right.
I think you're right. You hit the nail on the head. It's like, these kids, they can't even be, they're being told don't eat glue, but yet we're supposed to go ahead and teach them about sex ed. As a kindergartner, they still eat glue, okay? I'm sorry to make light of it, but it's like ridiculous. It is just absolutely ridiculous. And so it's up to us as parents to go ahead and make this stop. It is not being a bully. There's no reason to teach sex education to kindergarten kids. It's just not normal. And back in our day, when we were in school, the teachers always had such a private, quiet life. It's like you didn't know much about your teacher.
Sure.
And nowadays, it's like they brag about what they are or who they are. Kids don't need to know that. They just need to learn how to add 2 + 2. And our government doesn't add 2 + 2 together for a good answer.
I think it's sad that we have to pass a bill to prevent this. And I mean, Florida's only the first one. I mean, good for them, but how unfortunate where our country's at that you have to pass a bill to tell teachers they can't teach that, because because teachers are pushing that on children. And we know children are so fragile, their minds will believe anything you tell them. And to have to do that and then to have our president come back and say it's bullying.
Oh my gosh.
How is it
ridiculous.
bullying? I would just like to be explained.
Frankly, I
that.
think this is a failure of the university systems because it should be their job as an initial start to screen potential teachers. They should be teaching them to
Oh,
be
no.
teachers, and they should be screening
No,
them.
they're
Oh.
just so proud.
Yeah.
They're so proud to
They're
teach
screening-
liberalism.
They're
in
screening the other way.
universities.
We
Yep.
had
Exactly.
Connor Stevens on, who was kicked out of the New York University because he said men are men and men are not women and women are not men, and he got kicked out of the education program.
Exactly.
So they're screening in reverse. And Emily, I love your point that you shouldn't need a bill. Well, you didn't used to need a bill.
True.
Back in the day, everybody knew that that was wrong. And I want to do a real quick clip here of a reporter talking to Governor DeSantis, and Governor DeSantis just put him in his place.
Amendment 7, Parental Rights in Education, what critics call the Don't Say Gay bill, is on the Senate floor.
Does it say that in the bill?
I know that you support.
Does it say that in the bill?
I'm asking
you to tell me what's in the bill because you are pushing false narratives. It doesn't matter what critics say.
Hold on, it says it bans classroom instruction on sexual identity and gender orientation.
For who?
For
grades pre-K through 3. So 5-year-olds, 6-year-olds, 7-year-olds. And the idea that you wouldn't be honest about that and tell people what it actually says, it's why people don't trust people like you, because you peddle false narratives. And so we disabuse you of those narratives. And we're going to make sure that parents are able to send their kid to kindergarten without having some of this stuff injected into their school curriculum.
Bravo.
Amen. Bravo.
It's one of the
Love
reasons
it.
why Florida is one of the
Absolutely.
states that more people are moving to, because they're sensible. The governor is.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, a round of applause for him.
It's exciting. I'm telling you, Florida's a really nice place. But there's no reason why we can't bring that same passion and those same ideas to North Dakota. There's no reason we can't. We have a very conservative voter base. We have a supermajority of the Republicans in the legislature. Let's do the same thing. This is good policy, and it will protect kids.
Right.
Let's do it.
Let kids be kids. Kids need to be kids. They don't need to have this kind of information just thrown at them. It just doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense for anyone. I don't care what side of the aisle you're on, what religion you're in. It's like this, you don't need to teach kids sex education in kindergarten. It doesn't make sense.
And we have to do whatever we can to push back against the liberal universities creating liberal teachers and putting them in front of our kids. So whatever we have to do that, let's start.
Absolutely. You know, and it's only for grades K or preschool to 3rd grade.
And even
It
fourth
really-
grade is too early. I
It
mean,
should be, you know, yeah, it should be all through grade school.
and I
Come
get
on.
it. Nowadays, I mean, because people in general, they're healthier, okay? So girls are getting their periods earlier. We get that. We understand that. So maybe 4th, 5th grade, something like that. I mean, we used to go through it, I think, in the 6th grade. 5th or 6th grade is when they taught that type of stuff, but it certainly does not belong. Sex education does not belong in kindergarten to grade 3.
And maybe if it was just sex education, not you're a boy, you're a girl, you can be
Yeah.
whatever you want to be.
Not the whole,
It doesn't
because
make sense what they're picking out to talk about.
Yeah.
we know what's out there.
Yeah.
And so we don't want them teaching our kids that kind of thing. So it looks like now we have to make it a law. Otherwise, that's what they're going to do.